Dear friends, welcome to the serial lectures on traditional Chinese culture. Heaven moves constantly, man strives unceasingly. Isn't it inspiring? This statement comes from an amazing book, the classic of changes. It is the #1 book of Confucianism. Today, we will work on this book. To better understand its status in Chinese ideology, I'd like to brief you on the 4 categories of ancient books. Chinese people could read the ancient books written 3,000 years ago. However, there are so many ancient books, just like a vast expanse of sea. How to classify those books? Some scholars are especially engaged in the classification of ancient books. According to their research work, Chinese ancient books fall into 4 categories. Confucian classics rank first, including 13 classics of Confucianism, mainly 5 classics and 4 books. As to historical records, there are 3 styles. Historic books written in biographical style, like the 24 histories. Annals or chronicles written in chronological order. Historic books in separate accounts of important events. So 3 styles according to historic figure, time sequence, and important events. As to philosophical writings, there are various schools of ancient philosophers, including Confucianists, Taoists, Mohists, legalists, military strategists, Buddhists, mathematicians, etc., and miscellaneous literature. The anthology of prose, essay, verse, poetry, literary criticism, drama, etc. The main Confucian classics include the 5 classics and the 4 books. As to the 5 classics, Confucius was thought to be either the editor or author. Classic of Changes or Book of Changes, Canon of Changes, Confucius was thought to be one of the 3 authors. Classic of History, Confucius was thought to be the editor. Classic of Poetry or Book of Psalms, Confucius was thought to be the editor. Classic of Rites or Book of Rites, of Ritual, Courtesy, Confucius was thought to be the editor. Spring and Autumn Annals, Confucius was thought to be the author. So, Classic of Changes is the #1 canon of Confucianism. If you want to further understand Chinese people, it is a must for you to read a book. Some people think that the book of changes is just a book of divination, like fetishes and superstitions. However, please think twice. Why did so many people study and use it since it took form in the dawn of history? Why are so many people crazy about it? What is the essence of the book? Is it prescience, foresight, or culture? What can we learn from it? First of all, shall we try to understand it? The classic of changes is also known as I Ching. I Ching is the older Wade-Giles transliteration. I Ching is the #1 canon of Confucianism. It consists of Book of Changes and Remarks on I Ching. Remarks on I Ching refer to the 10 commentaries or appendixes written by Confucius, known as 10 Wings. It was composed between Yin and the Zhou dynasties by 3 saints: the legendary Fuxi, King Wen of the Zhou dynasty, and Confucius. So it was composed within a long period of time, beginning from about 3,000 years ago. It originated from the ancient witchcraft. Chinese shaman or enlightened being, like the wizard, witch. It includes symbolic hexagrams, 64 hexagrams, and lexicological commentaries, the words, text, judgment, explanation, being the main contents of the book. It contains 3 secret layers of wisdom: symbolism, phenomena, numerology, divination according to numerals, and philosophy. Three saints were supposed to be authors. Traditionally, it was believed that the principles of I Ching originated with the mythical figure Fuxi, who lived about 6,000 years ago, like the innate or prenatal Bagua. Legend goes that when Fuxi was taking a walk on the riverbank, he saw a turtle floating onto the water surface. He was enlightened by the pattern on the turtle back and created Bagua, the 8 trigrams. King Wen of the Zhou dynasty, who lived about 3,000 years ago, like the postnatal Bagua. Confucius was the author of the commentaries or appendixes known as 10 Wings, or Remarks on I Ching. It was Confucius who transformed the divination into philosophy. Richard Wilhelm was the German missionary and sinologist. He translated the I Ching from Chinese into German. His translation is still regarded as one of the finest. Here are the portraits of the mythical figure Fuxi and the German sinologist Richard Wilhelm, the translator. In his later years, Confucius was obsessed by I Ching. He read the canon of changes over and over again so that the thorns stringing the bamboo slips together broke 3 times. I Ching was carved on bamboo slips and tied together by leather ropes. Confucius was so diligent, hard-working, he made painstaking effort. What is the meaning of change? Change has 3 layers of meaning: change, simply change, and no change. Let's take the cloud for example. Change. The cloud pattern changes from an eagle to a tree, and this is the meaning of change. The Tao, the law of the universe, expresses its way in different patterns in nature and in our daily lives. Simply change. Although the cloud changes into different patterns, we could still recognize that it is the pattern of an eagle or a tree. It represents that although the Tao expresses its way in different patterns, we can still learn about it through vigilant observation. No change. No matter what pattern a cloud forms, we still call it a cloud. The Tao is always there and it never changes. The basic theories of I Ching include theories of 5 elements, negative and positive, and 8 trigrams. Shall we make an analysis of the theory of 5 elements? The 5 elements are the 5 substances of the universe, known as 五行 in Chinese. 五行 is used to describe interaction and relationship between phenomena. The ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus said, "Nothing can stay still. You cannot step twice into the same river." Here, the black arrowheads form a circle, indicating the generating interaction. Wood feeds fire. Fire creates earth. Earth bears metal. Metal carries water. Water nourishes wood. The generating cycle forms a circle. The round circle is symbolic of peace and harmony. A full moon is symbolic of family reunion. The white arrowheads form a star, indicating the overcoming interaction. Wood parts earth. Earth absorbs water. Water quenches fire. Fire melts metal. Metal chops wood. The overcoming cycle forms a star. The star is symbolic of combat, conflict, struggle, and fight. The Pentagon in the US is the building of the Ministry of National Defense. Heaven, earth, and man are the three grades in ancient ideology. In the earth, there are 5 substances: metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Correspondingly, in the heaven, there are 5 planets: Venus, Jupiter, Mercury, Mars, and Saturn. In human society, there are 5 cardinal virtues of Confucianism: benevolence, righteousness, propriety, wisdom, and trustworthiness. Now, shall we probe into the sources of Bagua? Let's learn some important verses. The limitless, 无极, produces the delimited, or the ultimate, 太极. 太极 produces 2 forms, yin and yang. The 2 forms produce 4 phenomena: lesser yin, great in the moon; lesser yang, great yang the sun. The 4 phenomena produce 8 trigrams, 八卦. 8 trigrams and 8 trigrams make 64 hexagrams. Here we can see the limitless, the infinite, the non-polar, known as 无极. The limitless 无极 produces the delimited, or great ultimate, supreme ultimate, supreme pole, known as 太极. Here we can see the 太极 diagram, the 2 fish, based on the negative and positive theory. Shall we make an analysis of the Tai Chi diagram? Diagram of the universe. The outer circle itself represents a whole, namely everything in the universe. Tai Chi is the supreme ultimate. It is the source of all things in the universe. The white fish represents yang elements and is generally depicted as rising on the left. The black fish represents yin elements and is shown descending on the right. There is a small dot of the different color at the furthest point, indicating how each will transform into the other. And the representative image of yin and yang is heaven and earth. Tai Chi produces 2 forms, known as yin and yang. Yang is the unbroken line, solid and hard. It is masculine or positive in character. It is active, warm, dry, bright, high, fast, moving, and creative. It can be seen in the sun, fire, day, southern side of a hill like Hengyang, and the northern bank of a river like Luoyang. Yin is the broken line, open. It is feminine or negative in nature. It is passive, cold, wet, dark, low, slow, still, and fertile. It can be seen in the moon, water, night, northern side of a hill like Huayin, southern bank of a river like Jiangyin. The negative and positive theory features the interplay, the interaction of yin and yang. Yin and yang function by reciprocal action. They are mutually rooted. Yin and yang are the two complementary forces that make up all aspects of life. Yin and yang are the two polar opposites into which all things can be classified. Thus, dark and light, life and death, male and female, good and evil, strong and weak are all manifestations of yin and yang. They mutually wax and wane. Yin and yang are in dynamic balance, constantly contracting and expanding. This is the process of quantitative change. They mutually transform. This is the process of qualitative change, perpetually becoming and fading away. Two forms produce four phenomena. Remember, always from the bottom to the top. Put two lines upwards in all possible combination, and we have four phenomena. Great Yang, the sun. Lesser Yin, lesser Yang, and great Yin, the moon. The representative image of four phenomena is four seasons. The image of great Yang is summer. In summer, the movement of qi is ascending. Qi is the air, the vitality or vital energy. The image of lesser yin is autumn. In autumn, the movement of qi is convergent and shrinking. The image of lesser yang is spring. In spring, the movement of qi is diffusive. The image of great yin is winter. In winter, the movement of qi is descending. Four phenomena produce 8 trigrams known as Bagua. By putting together 3 lines, yin and yang, upwards, in all possible combination, Bagua are produced to represent 8 basic elements. Here we can see the 8 trigrams in Chinese mythology. Each consists of 3 lines, either broken or unbroken. Due to their tripartite structure, they are often referred to as trigrams. When the world began, there were heaven and earth. Heaven mated with earth and gave birth to everything in the universe. Heaven is father and earth is mother. The remaining 6 are their sons and daughters. How to make the judgment whether the trigram is negative or positive? If there is only one single broken line, the trigram is negative. From bottom to top, wind is negative, the eldest daughter. Fire is negative, the second daughter. Lake is negative, the youngest daughter. If there is only one single unbroken line, in that case, the trigram is positive. From bottom to top, thunder is positive, the eldest son. Water is positive, the second son. Mountain is positive, the youngest son. Here is the derivation or development of earlier heaven 8 trigrams. And a line on top. Remember, always from the bottom to the top, going upwards. The limitless, 无极 produces the delimited, 太极. 太极 produces 2 forms, yin and yang. 2 forms produce 4 phenomena. 4 phenomena produce 8 trigrams, 八卦. Now, shall we have a close look at the 8 trigrams? Number 1, 前 trigram. Figure, 3 unbroken lines, positive. Image in nature, sky, heaven. Direction, south. Family member, father. Body part, head. Animal, horse. And the attribute is vigorous, strong, and creative. Number 2, 对 trigram. Figure, 1 broken line on the top, negative. Image in nature, lake, swamp, marsh. Direction, southeast. Family member, youngest daughter. Body part, mouse. Animal, sheep. Attribute, pleasant, tranquil. Number 3, 离 trigram. Figure, 1 broken line in the middle, negative. Image in nature, fire. Direction, east. Family member, second daughter. Body part, eyes. Animal, pheasant. attribute, bright, beautiful, adaptable. Number 4. 正 trigram. Figure. One unbroken line at the bottom, positive. Image in nature, thunder. Direction, northeast. Family member, eldest son. Body part, foot. Animal, dragon. Attribute, dynamic, initiative. Number 5. 训 trigram. Figure. One broken line at the bottom, negative. Image in nature, wind. Direction, southwest. Family member, eldest daughter. Body part, thigh. Animal, chicken, fowl. Attribute, penetrating, gentle. Number 6. 坎 trigram. Figure. One unbroken line in the middle, positive. Image in nature, water. Direction, west. Family member, second son. Body part, ear. Animal, pig. Attribute, dangerous, abysmal, trapped, moving. Number 7. 更 trigram. Figure. One unbroken line on the top, positive. Image in nature, mountain. Direction, northwest. Family member, youngest son. Body part, hand. Animal, dog. Attribute, still, quiet, complete, stopped. Number 8. 坤 trigram. Figure. 3 broken lines, negative. Image in nature, earth. Direction, north. Family member, mother. Body part, abdomen, belly. Animal, cattle, cow. Attribute, obedient, yielding, receptive, tolerant. What the cattle eat is grass. However, what the cattle produce is milk. This is the spirit of the earth. There are 2 different 8 trigrams. 伏羲八卦 or earlier heaven 八卦 or prenatal 8 trigrams is the innate trigrams. Another is called 听闻 of Zhou dynasty 八卦 or later heaven 八卦 or postnatal 8 trigrams. The difference lies in the order of arrangement. Here is 伏羲八卦 or earlier heaven 八卦 or prenatal 8 trigrams arrangement in the order of heaven, lake, fire, thunder, wind, water, mountain, and earth. In this diagram, The inside is the bottom. The outside is the top. Pay attention to the direction. The top is south. This is another diagram. Here, the inside is the top. The outside is the bottom. The top is south. Here is the King of Zhou Dynasty Bagua, or later Heaven Bagua, or postnatal 8 trigrams arrangement. The 4 positive trigrams stay together. The 4 negative trigrams stay together. Pay attention to the order of arrangement. The later Heaven Bagua coincides with the pattern on tortoise shell. Here we can see the pattern on tortoise shell, which is the origin of Chinese culture. Legend goes that when Fuxi was taking a walk on the riverbank, he saw a turtle floating onto the water surface. He was enlightened by the pattern on the turtle back and created Bagua, the 8 trigrams. The white dots are odd numbers, being positive. The black dots are even numbers, being negative. Any 3 add up to 15, horizontally, vertically, and diagonally. Moreover, later Heaven Bagua coincides with 5 elements, 5 directions, and 5 colors. For example, fire is in the south, here on the top being red. Water is in the north, here at the bottom being black. Here we can see the river chart. Both the river chart and the pattern on tortoise shell are the origin of Chinese culture. Legend goes that Fuxi was inspired by these mysterious patterns and created Bagua, the 8 trigrams. The river chart is the universe model. There are 28 lunar mansions with 7 constellations in each direction. The 5 elements coordinate with 5 directions and 5 colors. Wood is in the east, being green. The 7 constellations in the east are in the shape of green dragon. Fire is in the south, being red. The 7 constellations in the south are in the shape of Suzaku. Suzaku, the vermilion bird, the red bird. Metal is in the west, being white. The 7 constellations in the west are in the shape of white tiger. Water is in the north, being black. The 7 constellations in the north are in the shape of basalt, the turtle and the snake. Earth is in the middle, being yellow. The mythical beast in the middle is the yellow dragon. Here, the white dots are all the numbers being positive, and the black dots are even numbers, being negative. In each direction, there are 2 numbers. If you subtract one number from the other, you will always get 5. For example, in the middle, 10 minus 5 is 5. In the south, 7 minus 2 is 5. The universe is complicated, but if we find the principle, it may not be such a hard task as before. So try to find the law of the universe. Here we can see the 28 lunar mansions with 7 constellations in each direction, in the shape of 4 mythical beasts of green dragon, red bird the Suzaku, the vermilion bird, white tiger, and a basalt, turtle and a snake. Pay attention to the direction, because this is the map of the heaven. Eight diagrams and 8 trigrams make 64 hexagrams. 64 hexagrams were achieved by stacking trigrams upon trigrams. Each hexagram has a name, figure, image, position, and embodiment. The name has either 1 or 2 Chinese characters. Each hexagram has an opening text called judgment, and each line also has its own text. The judgment describes the general idea of the hexagram as a whole, and the individual lines refer to specific development of the central idea. Here's the usual arrangement of the 64 hexagrams. So the texts or the explanation of the 64 hexagrams are the main contents of I Ching. It's really painstaking to remember all the 64 hexagrams. And here we have a poem written by Zhu Xi, a philosopher of the Southern Song dynasty. It helps us to memorize the 64 hexagrams. Here is another arrangement, more regular but seldom used. And here I Ching is carved on bamboo slips. We can see the figure, name, and the text. Each line is known as Yao. Each Yao has its name, position, and embodiment. Yao name can be either Yang Yao or Yin Yao. This unbroken line is called Yang Yao, representing male or positive principle. 9 is the name of Yang Yao in 64 hexagrams, because 9 is the biggest odd digit. This broken line is called Yin Yao, representing female or negative principle. 6 is the name of Yin Yao in 64 hexagrams because 6 is in the middle of even numbers. Yao position shows the growing process from bottom to top. Successively, there are the initial stage, pullulating or sprouting stage, growing stage, promoting stage, flourishing stage, and ultimate stage. Each yao has its position or its place. Each yao also has its embodiment. For example, Yang Yao embodies the heaven, male, emperor, hard, strong, warm, and odd numbers. On the contrary, Yin Yao embodies the earth, female, civilian, soft, weak, cold, and even numbers. Here are the detailed explanation of the 64 hexagrams. We can see the figure, position, image, name, embodiment, and the judgment. And these are the main contents of I Ching. I'd like to explain just some of them. This is the first of the 64 hexagrams. Shall we make an analysis of the first hexagram? Name, Qian. Figure, 6 unbroken or undivided lines. Image, heaven, up and down. Record, 元亨利贞. Yuan, initiation, origination. Heng, prosperity, greatness. Li, benefit, advantage. Zhen, loyalty, faithfulness, firmness. There is a website named Yuan Heng Li Zhen on fortune telling. Judgment. Heaven moves constantly, man strives unceasingly. Really inspiring. Each hexagram has an opening text called judgment. The judgment describes the general idea of the hexagram as a whole. Each line also has its own text. The individual lines refer to specific development of the central idea. The first 9 is positive. 9 is the name of Yang Yao. The line is undivided. It is the hidden dragon. The reclining dragon is lying in the deep. It is not the time for active doing. The second 9 is positive. The line is undivided. It is the emergent dragon. The dragon appears in the field. It will be advantageous to meet with the great man. The third line is positive. The line is undivided. It is the vigilant dragon. The superior man is active and vigilant all the day, and in the evening he is still careful and apprehensive, worried. The position is dangerous, but there will be no mistake. The fourth line is positive. The line is undivided. It is the leaping dragon. The dragon is looking as if he were leaping up, but still in the deep. There will be no mistake. The fifth line is positive. The line is undivided. It is the soaring dragon. The dragon is on the wing in the sky. It will be advantageous to meet with the great man. The sixth line, the topmost line, is positive. The line is undivided. It is the proud dragon. The dragon is exceeding the proper limits. There will be occasion for repentance, regret. There's also the use of 9. The lines of this hexagram are all strong and undivided. The host of dragons are appearing without a head, and there would be good fortune. The second hexagram is the earth. We can see the figure, name, image, embodiment, and judgment. Figure, 6 broken lines. Image, earth, up and down. And the judgment is really encouraging. Earth bears obediently. Man acts virtuously. The animal of earth is cattle, cow. What the cattle eat is grass. However, what the cattle produce is milk. This is the spirit of the earth, tolerant and obedient. Here is the national flag of South Korea with Tai Chi diagram in the center, surrounded by 4 trigrams representing heaven, water, earth, and fire, beginning top left and proceeding clockwise. It is somewhat different. The colors of Tai Chi diagram are different, and there are only 4 trigrams. We can refer to hexagram number 11 and hexagram number 63. Hexagram number 11. Terrestrial and celestial forces in harmony, indicating the peaceful and prosperous times. Hexagram number 63. Water and fire coordinating. That is probably part of the reasons why the economy of South Korea developed so quickly after the Second World War. Here we can see hexagram number 11, the image, earth over heaven, and judgment, terrestrial and celestial forces in harmony, indicating the peaceful and prosperous times. Here we can see hexagram number 63. The image, water over fire, and the judgment, water and fire coordinating. This is the last hexagram, not yet folding. Number 64 hexagram is the last hexagram. Name, not yet folding. Image, fire over water. The record before completion. And the judgment. This hexagram indicates a time when the transition from disorder to order is not yet completed. This hexagram tells us a story. A little fox is swimming across the river. A little fox, not a big fox. A big fox is wise, cunning, and deceitful. When he has almost made it, he gets his tail wet. Then all his effort has been in vain. Foxes have heavy tails. They usually hold their tails high up when they cross the water to prevent their tails from getting wet. Once they get their tails wet, it would be very difficult, almost impossible for them to cross the river. In times before completion, we should be deliberate, discreet, and careful. Deliberation and caution are the prerequisites of success. Now let's move on to the practice of yin and yang, the negative and the positive theory, 五行, theory of 5 elements, and 八卦, 8 trigrams. They are widely used. They can be used in fortune telling, drawing lots of divination, usually in temples, drawing magic figures, chanting incantations, practicing geomancy or feng shui for selecting a site for a tomb, house, etc. Selecting an auspicious day for marriage, funeral, shop opening, etc. Choosing names for the newborn infants. They are also used by philosopher, doctor, artist, calligrapher, military strategist, and scientist. They can be used in fortune telling. When the ancients couldn't decide the future, they turned to fortune tellers, just like the gypsies' crystal balls. Gypsies' crystal balls are inaccurate and unscientific, while the divination of I Ching is accurate, especially over a long period of time. The earliest divination was really sacred and mysterious. The wizard drilled some holes on the turtle back and then put it on the fire. As a result, the turtle back would crack, and divinations or predictions were made according to the pattern of crackles. They were honored as oracles. Afterwards, the wizard would inscribe the oracles on tortoise shells or beast bones to record the event. So the contents of inscriptions on tortoise shells or beast bones are mainly oracles of divination, prediction. And the inscriptions were carved on tortoise belly or abdomen, not the back. Turtle back is too hard to carve. The beast bones refer to the blade bone, shoulder bone of an ox. However, turtle divination was too expensive and primitive, so I Ching used yarrow stalks to tell the fortune instead of tortoise shells. Just take 50 yarrow stalks and put one stalk aside, symbolizing the mystery of heaven and earth. Then divide the 49 yarrow stalks into 2 parts at random. This is known as numerology, similar to tarot deck in the West, but more accurate than the tarot deck. Chinese people often use the date of birth and the 8 characters of a horoscope in fortune telling. The birth horoscope is your life code and can be used to calculate your marriage, career, wealth, and education. They use 10 heavenly stems in combination with 12 earthly branches to designate year, month, day, and hour. You may wonder, what are the 10 heavenly stems and the 12 earthly branches? In this diagram, we can see the 10 heavenly stems horizontally and the 12 earthly branches vertically. And 60 years make a cycle, here from 1974 to 2033. 2 characters are used to designate the year, month, day, and hour respectively. The first character from 10 heavenly stems and the second character from 12 earthly branches, altogether 8 characters. Suppose one lady was born in 1992. She was born in the year of monkey, and the 2 characters of the year are 人, 生. It's rather complicated to calculate the 2 characters for the month, for the day, and for the hour. In this way, the 8 characters of a horoscope are determined. The 24 hours in the day are divided into 12 parts. 2 hours each, and the 12 earthly branches are used to indicate the 2-hour periods. Here is the chart. We can also see the beginning, the middle, and the end of the 2-hour period. So the 12 earthly branches are also used to indicate the hours, 2 hours each. And there are interesting stories behind them. Mouse is active in the dead of night. Ox chews and ruminates at night, and the farmer feeds grass to it. Ferocious tiger goes out before dawn, wandering and looking for food. Rabbit goes out at dawn, eating grass with morning dew. It becomes foggy, and the dragon rides on mists and clouds. Snake leaves cave seeking for food under the burning sun. At noon, heavily steed horse soars vigorously across the sky. It's time for shepherd to tend sheep. Monkey crows before sunset. Chicken returns home at dusk. Man goes asleep while dog keeps watch at night. Pig sleeps soundly in silence, digging trough occasionally. Here is the Chinese zodiac, represented by 12 animals: mouse, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, sheep, monkey, chicken, dog, and pig. For example, if a baby was born in 2019, he was born in the year of pig. And these are the pictographs of the 12 animals, the Chinese zodiac. The ancient fortune tellers usually calculate with their fingers, using the left hand. Please raise your left hand, beginning from mouse, and then ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, sheep, monkey, chicken, dog, and pig. There exist 6 harmonies horizontally, 6 calamities vertically, calamities disastrous, and 6 oppositions diagonally, so oppositions contradictory. Horizontally, there exist 6 harmonies: ox and a mouse, tiger and a pig, rabbit and a dog, dragon and a chicken, snake and a monkey, horse and sheep. Vertically, there exist 6 calamities, disastrous: dragon and a rabbit, snake and a tiger, horse and ox, sheep and a mouse, monkey and a pig, chicken and a dog. Diagonally, there exist 6 oppositions contradictory: mouse and horse, ox and sheep, tiger and a monkey, rabbit and a chicken, dragon and a dog, snake and a pig. Pay attention to the direction. On the top is south. We can also see people drawing lots of divination, usually in temples, and drawing magic figures or chanting incantations. Here are the bamboo slips used for drawing lots of divination. And the magic symbols consist of Chinese characters, animals, constellations, weapons, and geometric patterns. The magic figure here is praying to the god for peace. And here the man is chanting incantations, uttering magic spell. People also practice geomancy or feng shui for selecting a site for a tomb, house, etc. Here we can see the 13 tombs of the emperors of the Ming Dynasty in the outskirts of Beijing. It has excellent feng shui, with the high mountain in the back in the north, river and a plain and a hill in the front in the south, flanked and safeguarded by the Dragon Mountain in the east and the Tiger Mountain in the west. And the traditional Chinese medicine is also based on the yin and yang theory. Here we have got a metaphor. To boil the water, we have water in the kettle and a flame in the stove. If the water level is moderate and the flame is also moderate, everything is going well and the man is healthy. If there is too much water and the flame is too low, there appears the syndrome of cold, negative. If there is too little water and the flame is too high, there appears the syndrome of heat, positive. If there is too little water and the flame is too low, there appears the syndrome of underactivity. The man is lacking in vitality, vital energy. He may possibly die. If there's too much water and the flame is too high, there appears the syndrome of overactivity, and the doctor is expected to balance the yin and the yang, the negative and the positive as a whole. Now we know that I Ching is not only a book of divination, it is a book of wisdom, of philosophy, of the universal law of development of things. It tells us to be vigilant in peacetime, mindful of possible danger, and turn calamities into blessings. It attaches importance to harmony, change, and reform. At last, I'd like to end the lecture with the judgments of the first two hexagrams. Heaven moves constantly, man strives unceasingly. Earth bears obediently, man acts virtuously. Thank you very much.